Hey guys, alright, so first lesson is going to be how to hold the sticks, okay? So right off the bat, right now what we do something called match grip, okay? So what that looks like, as you can see, you hold the sticks a little bit up. Where it says the Vic first, you can see mine are slightly faded. You want to hold it around somewhere where it's comfortable, so typically around the tipping point of the stick, okay? So I like to see go around the near the F and the I, so it gets a good nice grip. Sometimes I like playing a bit lower. Once again, it's a little bit harder, and sometimes a bit higher. It's all up to you, but typically the general rules around the FIR, somewhere around there. So how you do it, you take the inside of your finger right here where my thumb is, and then you're gonna wrap it around right there like that. Just pinch it like that. Keep it nice and light, and then take your three fingers. Don't grip the stick like this, but keep them loose so that, as you can see, let's try doing it like this. They just bounce back, so it's nice and loose. Okay. Same thing with your left hand. Just pinch stick around the FIR, wrap it around, and just nice and loose. Okay. So when you're playing, there's no drum pad. It's just gonna be nice and smooth. Okay, and remember to use the wrist. Okay, let the wrist go, not the arm. It's always got to be the wrist. And use these three fingers at the back to your advantage. Let them push the stick back and forth, and that's how you can gain a lot of speed too, okay? Alright, so on to the next lesson, which was the more of the intent, which was, it's called traditional grip, okay? So, traditional grip, there's two parts again. There's the right hand, there's the left hand. Right hand's really simple just because it's the exact same as traditional grip. Just pinch and keep it nice and loose. Okay? Nothing changes with the right hand. The difference is the left hand, okay? So, the left hand, the way I was taught is it's easy. You start off with you take your fingers and make it into a gun pretty much, okay? So you're gonna take the stick and you're gonna place it between the thumb and your index finger, and then on the other side you're gonna take it and you're gonna put it between your middle finger and your ring finger, okay? So it's gonna wrap around like that. That's sort of what it's gonna look like, okay? And from the other end through there, okay? Now, as for gripping the stick, when I first started playing, it was more of like you have a double. Two fingers under, two fingers over, and then there's your thumb, okay? Now, that's how I first started playing. You gotta remember, you don't hold it really tight. You just gotta keep it nice and loose so that it can bounce. Notice that when I go up, there's a little space that creates, okay? And you use these two fingers to control. So those two are the fingers that are gonna hold it. Because if you keep your hand open like this, it's just gonna fly back and potentially out of your hand, okay? So use these fingers as supports. Again, similar to how on the right hand you use these three fingers as supports to push the stick back and forth. In the left hand, you're going to use these two fingers, okay? So what you're going to do is if you focus over here, so you lift and drop. So I'll try to put this over here. So just watch this hand and you can see the lift and drop. Lift, lift, and drop. Okay, again, it's all wrist work. Okay, especially with the left hand, more than the right hand. The left hand uses all wrist work. Okay, and again, you can, like I was saying, you can control with the fingers by when you lift, your fingers are what's going to stop it, and then when you want to push it back down, you push it back down. And if you're going for a more lighter sound, then you don't necessarily need to push back down. You just let it drop. And in which case, what's going to stop it, rather than just letting it drop like this, these two fingers are what's going to control the bottom. So top controls upward movement and bottom controls downward movement. Okay. Now, as you keep going and as you keep playing drums and whatever, what you're gonna soon develop is you're gonna wanna change it. So like I said, I started out playing like this, and I found it a little uncomfortable. I found having a little bit of pain right in the middle of my palm and on the backside, because your hand stays scrunched up sometimes. Okay, especially if you don't do it properly. Now, what I've developed into more now is I've sort of released the middle finger, and the middle finger sort of stays loose, and I just let this finger control, my index finger. That's the one that controls. So if you notice, my middle finger sort of stays out, and these two still stay in, okay? And the seal, again, is going to be created by your thumb, okay? Your thumb comes over your index finger, and you just kind of put them together, and it's going to go like that, okay? Again, so upward movement, let's go back to the pad. Your upward movement is going to be controlled by your index finger, and then your downward movement is going to be controlled by this. And your thumb sort of, your middle finger sort of just stays loose. So if you're lifting a lot higher for whatever reason, then you can bring the middle finger in and provide the double support, or you can just leave it loose if you like to flare out. Some people, depending on the notes, depending on how it's going, some people like to flare out like much farther. They like to straighten their stick and then drop it. Some people like doing that. Some people just like keeping it nice and low. And it's all personal preference and what the music demands as well. So what it's gonna look like together is, so once again, between the F and the R, or sorry, between the FI and R, like normal, you're gonna hold it like this, okay? Nothing changes with the right. Now with your left, again, you're gonna want to keep your index finger where it wraps around between the FI and R again. That's usually a good spot to keep it. Again, some people, once you get a better feel for it, you're gonna make me want to go near the VIC. Some people find that more comfortable, and some people find even lower comfortable. Okay. Now for this one, going lower is gonna be a bit harder because you're gonna have more weight over here, right? So that's why I like to go closer to the balance point, and then I can get a lot more speed. Okay. So, so what it's gonna look like is just like this. So your right's normal, your left's like this. Okay, and together it's just right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, and eventually what you want to do is you're just gonna for now just keep practicing single hits, right? Make sure you're focusing on your wrist. Make sure you're keeping your fingers loose. Make sure you got that nice flowy kind of feel. Same thing with your left hand. Single hits. Get used to that flowy feel. If you're sitting watching TV, get a pillow or get a drum pad if you have one, and just tap away. And then don't worry too much about the speed. Slowly, once you get the motion down, once you get the muscle memory in, you'll be able to go a lot faster. Okay, getting this kind of movement in. When you start going a lot faster, you have to loosen up and tensen up in certain places, and then you got to learn, especially for speed and control, you got to learn to use these three fingers on the right hand. They're what's going to give you the power to go for long periods of time at this kind of speed. And then same thing on your left hand. It's a lot of wrist movement, and what's going to give you the speed is getting the control going between your ring and your pinky finger and your index finger, and using your middle finger as a support when necessary. A lot of it has to do with the thumb as well, okay? Especially on the left hand. You can adjust your thumb so that it also, sometimes it's pushing down harder, sometimes it's just nice and loose and easy, okay? And then eventually, sometimes some people want to get flashy, they just remove both fingers altogether, and they just use thumb to push the stick down. So what you get is something like this. But that's for more later stuff, and typically music-wise, it's not as practical. Most people don't do it. It's just showmanship. So once again, just to recap, we're gonna go normal match grip. It's around the FIR. Keep your fingers pinched. Wrap them around loosely. FIR, pinch, and wrap around loosely. Use the three fingers. They're gonna be your best friends in this one. Okay. For traditional grip now, again, try to go around the FIR or the VIC, whatever's more comfortable. Right hand's the same. Left hand, again, the easy way to think about it, if you ever forget, make the gun, slip it between, close the hands, okay? And make sure you get that wrist movement going. Wrist movement and the supports from these two fingers on the bottom, these two fingers on the top. All right.